वाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Sukirti Madhvi, welcoming all of you for this Prabhupada Book Reading Club. I am very happy to see that many new devotees have joined our group, and I'm sure they would be joining here also. So, those of us who are attending for the first time, a small introduction. So, the whole purpose about this book reading club is that we get connected to Srila Prabhupada and we deepen our connection with our Guru Parampara and we become strong and align ourselves with our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Many of you have been attending my sessions either on Study Gita or on ICVE, or you would have come to the temple and attended these sessions. So we are connected in some way or the other. So to those of you uh, who are coming for the first time, anything and everything good, positive, and transformational. If I speak, all the credit goes to this glorious Guru Parampara in which I am connected. I'm very, very proud, like spiritual proud of being connected with Srila Prabhupada. And I'm just repeating whatever I read in his books. His books are amazing. And those of us who were there with us for last 5 books, we have seen that how small examples, analogies, what Prabhupada uses, and how it is very relevant even today, and how we can use those as a part of our preaching application. And people just get it, they just understand and they connect with it. So Prabhupada's speciality is like, though I designed this course, Gita Made Easy, but Prabhupada is the one who has made spirituality easy for all of us. And we feel so happily connected with Krishna, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of Srila Prabhupada. So, with just that one objective, this club is designed. Every day we read for 20 minutes. We all participants take turns and read paragraph by paragraph, and we try to sum up any important learning is there. Also, we sit with our notebook and a pen. Dipali can show if she's having, because she's very regularly carries. Yeah, Vishal can also show his notebook and pen because he's our notes maker. He sends the notes every day very religiously. So we all take notes and we try to categorize these notes into 3 categories. One is personal application, like what do I learn and which I can apply in my life. Second is preaching application, as in what I can use for others. And third is a list of analogies which Srila Prabhupada uses in his book. So this is how we try to make notes and categorize into different segments. So now today, my dear devotees, the book which we are starting, it's a very, very different book. It's a very different and unique book. I have read this book probably like 25 years ago. And so with all of you, I'll be getting again into this book. So this book, the title is Life Comes from Life. Just a minute. Yes, it's a very scientific book where Srila Prabhupada is having the conversation with Dr. T.D. Singh, who is his disciple also, and he's a scientist. So all these science, so Srila Prabhupada would take a lot of pleasure, in crushing this big size ego of scientists if it is based on atheism. So that way, Prabhupada gives amazing analogies and amazing logic and a whole different perspective of understanding this Vedic science. Also, Srila Prabhupada at various places, he establishes that how science and religion can go hand in hand. Like there is no contradiction because our Sanatan Dharma, it's the basis of science in one way. Like it is all coming from that. So this is the book which we are going to study. Life Comes from Life. So the participants who would like to read can raise their hands and we will call out. So Hari Balakrishnan can start reading from the introduction.
Hare
I hope you
Krishna.
can see the screen, all of you.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
The science, truth, and fiction. How do you know that incessant incessant progress of science will not compel scientists to consider that life has existed during eternity and not matter. How do you know that in 10,000 years one will not consider it more likely that matter has emerged from life? Louis Pasteur. Once upon a time, as in a fairy tale, most of us believed that the food we ate was basically wholesome, nutritious, and free from dangerous chemicals, that advertising was believable, and that product labels truly described the qualities and the contents of what we ate. Once upon a time, most of the world believed in the integrity of our heads of state, high ranking political officials, and local leaders. Once upon a time, we thought our children were getting a solid education in the public schools. Once upon a time, many of us believed atomic energy had space-time uses that were perfectly safe and co- congruous with happy and healthy society.
So here we read the introduction. The introduction itself is very poetic and it appears as if it is reminding us of our time. So which means that we are not existing in this time. Now this was written almost like 40 years back and still people, I mean, even at that time, the things have changed so much that if we see here that we ate was basically wholesome, nutritious. So even 40 years back, it was not wholesome and nutritious because 40 years back, they were thinking that once upon a time, the food was wholesome. So what is the degraded state now? Or like the advertising was believable. The products truly describe the qualities and contents of what we ate. So I mean, so much, the whole point is that there is so much difference between what is portrayed and what is the reality. So that is what it is mentioned. Continue.
Yet in recent times, our illusions have been shattered. Repeated exposures of widespread consumer fraud, grand political scandals, and toxic waste dumps have all but destroyed our former innocence. We now know that a veil of fantasy and deception can be created with unprecedented expertise through the mass media, making it impossible to distinguish between substance and simulation, reality and illusion.
So here itself, they are talking about widespread consumer fraud. And now this thing has taken another different degree where it is widespread cybercrime, cyber fraud. Like we keep hearing today itself, I met one devotee who was telling that how he's cheated and he has lost 18 lakh rupees in cybercrime. So that fraud is widespread basically. That is what is happening. Continue.
Scientists as a class have long sat protected in their ivory chambers, exempt from dishonesty. Science, among all other fields, has been regarded as the ultimate meeting ground for seekers and dispensers of truth. The dazzling technological achievements of modern science have given it an aura of infallibility. In Passengers About Earth, Irvin Thompson writes, just as once there was no appeal from the power of religion without risking damnation, now there is no appeal from the power of science without risking a charge of irrationality or insanity. But scientists in key academic, industrial, and government positions have shown that they are indeed capable of mixing personal beliefs and ambitions with their research, thus altering the result.
So all this introduction actually it is written by Dr. T.D. Singh, who himself is a scientist, and he is talking here that the scientist, they are mixing their personal belief and ambition with their research, which means whatever is my personal belief system, that I am mixing, and with that I am arriving at a conclusion. So how that conclusion can be apt or good for everybody? So that is what basic question he's reading. Srinidhi, you would like to read next?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Uh, When this happens, we are no longer dealing with a search for truth, but with a pseudoscience and its resultant array of distortions, fabrications, and false information. Unfortunately, this unscientific method has been applied to the most fundamental field of scientific inquiry, the nature and origin of life. Yet, when scientists present untested, unproven speculations about life's origin, people tend to accept them with blind faith.
So
Some
here it is
scientists
mentioned, just a minute. So here it is mentioned that though there is no proper research also that has happened, because it is mentioned that when the scientists present untested, so it is not verified, it is not proven something, and yet whatever they say we believe because we think, oh, they are scientists, they are science people, so we should trust them. And whatever is stated in the scriptures, we have been brought up in a manner that we question, we don't believe that. So whatever science says, we believe, though we know that science changes every like 5 years, 10 years, and then there is a revised addition of the same theory, but we very easily believe that. Continue.
Some scientists popularize the notion that a human being is merely a conglomeration of unconscious molecules, but they cannot explain how mere molecules can experience joy upon seeing loved ones or feel disturbed by the death of one.
Isn't that interesting? Like we are taking notes, so this is something worth noting down. A very interesting example. Ki how, like, if we are all molecules, if we are only chemicals, if we are combination of chemical, then why do we experience certain emotions? How the chemical is experiencing emotion? How I become sometimes happy and sometimes disturbed if I'm just a bag of chemicals? Continue.
A recent exhibit at the Los Angeles Museum of Natural History displayed a number of flasks and beakers. Each contained one of the chemicals found in the human body. The caption explained that although these chemicals represented all the contents of the human body in correct weight and proportion, they could not be considered life, nor could any amount of scientific manipulation bring them to life.
So now the example is given of the each and every part of human body, if it is collected and displayed, yet it is not full of life. Life is still missing out of it. So if I am just the chemical, then why, when the chemicals are taken out of my life, why it is not living? Why, what is missing out there? Continue.
As Michael Polanyi, author of Atomic Reactions, notes, current biology is based on the assumption that you can explain the process of life in terms of chemistry and physics. And of course, physics and chemistry are represented ultimately in terms of forces acting between atomic particles. This is the cause of our corruption of the conception of man, reducing him either to an insentient automation or to a bundle of appetites. This is why science can be invoked so easily in support of totalitarian violence, why science has become the greatest source of dangerous fallacies.
Continue.
Today, many scientists are propagating the doctrine that life originates from matter. Popular works and textbooks posit that life gradually arose from chemicals, a primordial soup consisting of amino acids, proteins, and other essential ingredients. However, science cannot provide proof of this, either experimentally or theoretically. In fact, these scientists hold their stance essentially on the faith even in the face of all sorts of scientific objections. Physicist Hubert Yockey has recommended by information theory that even a single informational molecule such as cytochrome, what to speak of complex organisms, could not have arisen by chance in the estimated lifetime of the Earth. One must conclude that, contrary to the established and current wisdom, a scenario describing the genesis of life on Earth by chance and natural causes which can be accepted on the basis of fact and not faith that has not yet been written.
So here, the whole point is that the scientists are propagating the doctrine that life originates from matter. From matter comes the life. And that whole thing is being questioned here, that how the life can come from matter. And there is a different quotes supporting that life cannot come from matter. Shivdharani, you would like to read next?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Likewise, some scientists promote the widely held belief that the sun, stars, planets, galaxies, and conscious life suddenly sprang from Big Bang. Dr. Edwin Godwin, a Princeton University biologist, has compared the chances of a planet, such as ours arising from a Big Bang, to a likelihood of an unabridged dictionary resulting from an explosion in a printing shop. The noted
So now
biologist
here the example is given like Big Bang, like everything, that there was a Big Bang and then the entire sun, star, planet, galaxy, everything has come into existence because of that Big Bang. So that is being questioned here. And Dr. T.D. Singh is quoting Dr. Edwin Godwin from Princeton University, who says that it is just like that the dictionary edition. So there is an explosion in the printing shop, and from that explosion comes out the dictionary. So how can we believe that if the printing shop there is an explosion and a dictionary comes out? So similarly, if there is an explosion, how the living entities would come out of it? Continue.
The noted biologist W.H. Thorpe writes, "We may be faced with a possibility that the origin of life, like the origin of the universe, becomes an impenetrable barrier to science, and a block which resists all attempts to reduce biology to chemistry and physics." And Einstein notes, "Everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man, and one in the face of which we, with our modest powers, must feel humbled."
Continue.
Life comes from life demonstrates with simple logic that life cannot be reduced to atoms and molecules, and that matter, without the living force or spirit, is incapable of generating life in any form. It is also hoped that this book will urge scientists to rededicate themselves to a more genuine and intense quest for truth and knowledge, and to thereby redirect their valuable intelligence, resources, and work toward the true benefit of the world. Taudam Damodar Singh.
So now he is explaining, T.D. Singh sir is explaining what is this book all about. So he is telling that life comes from life. It is presenting simple logic. So Prabhupada is not a scientist to scientifically attack. So he is presenting simple logic. And we will see that how a person who follows this Guru Shishya Parampara, how he becomes so empowered that he can actually challenge what science is giving on the basis of scriptures. So all that is happening because of his absolute faith in the parampara, in the scripture and Supreme Lord Krishna himself, that he can present a book. The whole book is a conversation with Srila Prabhupada, and we'll see how Prabhupada is tackling different arguments so expertly. Like if we are not science student, we may not even understand it completely, and Srila Prabhupada is giving those arguments. So with this, we will enter into the book. We will read a little and then we will stop. Tarika, you would like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Life on first morning walk. Srila Prabhupada is accompanied by Dr. Taudam Damodar Singh, Karandara Das, Brahmananda Swami, and other students. Life on other planets. Srila Prabhupada, even on the sun and the moon, there are living entities. What is the opinion of the scientists? Dr. Singh, they say there is no life there. Srila Prabhupada, that is nonsense. There is life there. Dr. Singh, they say that there is no life on the moon because they do not find any there. Srila Prabhupada, why do they believe that? The moon planet is covered with dust, but within the dust, the living entities. Oh, sorry.
You were reading right, but within that, does the living entities can live?
Every atmosphere is suitable for life. Any atmosphere, therefore, the Vedas describe the. Sorry, Mataji, your call is coming. That's it. Existing on all circumstances. The living entity is not material, although engaged in the material body. He is not material, but when we speak of different atmosphere, we refer to different material conditions.
So now you
Karandara.
see the fun. Wait. So now we see the fun begins. So how this conversation has started, that Srila Prabhupada is asking that what scientists believe, do people live on sun or moon or not? Now, if we read scriptures, which we have done, so like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says that in the 4th chapter, he says that I have given this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. So if sun god is existing on sun planet, so of course there is life. So on that basis, Srila Prabhupada is telling that science exists. He says that that is nonsense. There is life there. Prabhupada is telling that in sun and moon there is life. And then T.D. Singh is telling that no, they did not find. So they wanted to search, they did not find any life. So they have concluded that there is no life. And Prabhupada is explaining that the moon planet is covered with dust, but within that dust, the living entities can live. And then he's saying that there are different atmospheres. So like on Earth, we live on a certain type of atmosphere. When we go beneath the water, the atmosphere changes, but then the life exists inside the water also. Or when we go up high on the sky, the life exists there also. So that which Srila Prabhupada is telling that in moon there is a different atmosphere. But he's quoting, therefore, the Vedas describe the living entities as Sarvagataha. Sarvagataha means that it can exist in all circumstances. So he's questioning that belief and he's challenging and sort of defeating by quoting the Vedic scriptures that Sarvagataha, or it exists in all circumstances. So it is 7:51. So we will stop here, though it started to build up, and we are stopping here and we will continue tomorrow. And so today, so what we also do in this group is, once the class gets over, we open the chat group. We give you a reflective question about which you have to type your answers there. So today's question is, what is this most interesting form of life which you have witnessed? I'm very intriguing, like some very unique flowers or some very unique type of insects which you have come across, or something very unique which you could not just believe that, oh, life exists in this form also. So let's write that in the chat window after closing the group, that to substantiate that Sarvagataha, what is that most unique life form which you have witnessed, when and where? If you have any photo of that, then you can post it there at the group also. So thank you all very much for joining. And as you can see, it is only 20 minutes, which we can very easily take out from our busy schedule for serving Srila Prabhupada. So we will connect together again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Thank you.
Thank you.